What is going on, everybody? It's the Frontz, and we're back with another episode of Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. Let's continue on the Turnabout Airlines Part 2, as we finished up Part 1 last time, and we landed at an airport as we're going to continue this. Let's get started. Turnabout Airlines, we're in the middle, actually, it looks like, so. March 12th, 1 p.m. local time, Hope Springs Airport. I know that once we landed, I'm supposed to let the local police take over. And thanks to Miss Tenero and Miss Melee, I was able to preserve the crime scene. But I just can't shake it. I wasn't able to talk with Miss Tenero in private, so I'm left wondering, just what was she up to? Why did she do what she did? There must be a way for me to continue my investigation. I've been expecting you, Miles Edgeworth. Franziska, I thought you were still in Germany. I go where I am needed, and wherever there are criminals to be caught. Her name is Franziska von Karma, the daughter of my mentor, Manfred von Karma. She looks like myself, is a prosecutor. Are you heading up this case? It would be a bit of a relief if you are. Don't you try to flatter me, Miles Edgeworth. I am placing you under arrest. Whoa, what's with the whip, child? What? It's quite frustrating, actually. I had hoped to exact my revenge on you in a different venue. But I'll take what I have. I'll have to take what I can get. I never thought I'd see the day when a disciple of the House of Von Karma would become a criminal. Have you no shame? Sheesh. Wait, it has all been a big misunderstanding. I didn't kill the victim. A misunderstanding? I heard all about the murder over the police radio from the captain himself. You waited for the victim on the first floor, and then beat him to death. Franziska. Ziska. God damn, that's a messed up name. Did you honestly believe that I killed a man? I suppose I should reserve judgment until after I have investigated this for myself. I could put you under arrest on hold until then. That's as it should be. I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties for you of all people. To be perfect in every way, the fulfillment of that creed alone is all I strive for. Well, I have my own creed which I must fulfill, so why don't we solve this together? I have to get going. The crime scene awaits. Don't you dare leave town. Trust me, I have no intentions to. Detective Gumshoes? Yes, sir. Too slow. Ow! Listen up. I am leaving you in charge of watching this man. Don't mess up, understand? Mr. Edgeworth? I'm supposed to guard him. Yes. A simple yes or no, detective. Yes. Yes, sir. I understand, sir. You just leave it to me. Miles Edgeworth, if you interfere with my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. Are we clear? Now then, if you'll excuse me. Glad to see you, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Boy, am I glad to see you. Okay. Thank you, detective. I believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I'll get you through this. I have to admit, I'm a bit curious as to what Franziska is up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well. In that case, I have a few questions for you. Alright. Can we talk to him? So, how is the initial investigation going? We just shipped the body off to the coroner's office. And we're taking statements now, sir. That sounds like Franziska. She was always good at quick response to a case. It just froze on me? Really? Everything just froze on me. Hold on. Alright, we're good. I'd say she was, a little too quick, sir. Oh, How so? I rushed over as soon as I got a word of the affair, sir. But somehow when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already here barking out orders to everyone. It was kind of creepy, as though she knew that there had been a murder or something, and had come in advance to wait for flight arrivals. That is sort of odd. She did show up rather quickly and out of the blue. Plus, I still don't know why she's here in America. There must be some backstory to all of this. Miss Von Karma just kind of popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident. No details? It's kind of top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir. Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is with her whip. Plus, I don't doubt the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, detective. Although, I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine. Anyway, that was about all the info I have, sir. We find out more when as we investigate. Yes, it is high time to resume my investigation. Starting with talking to the people involved in this case, afresh. Can't go that way. Guess we gotta go this way. Going back to the plane, I see. March 12th, 1:37 p.m. Flight I-390, second floor, first class. So, you must be the captain. Why, yes I am. And you might be, and who might you be? I am Prodigy Prosecutor Franziska Von Karma, and I have a few questions for you. Don't you dare, Captain, getting friendly with another woman. I don't know why this thing is popping on me. I'll never forgive you if you do. What are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy. I wouldn't bet money on our dear captain to be much of a reputable person. Sure you don't want to ask the captain some questions, sir? He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he would know anything of use. Anyway, I'd like to leave that type of witness to Franziska and her whip. Yeah, let's leave them alone and go on. Ah! March 12th, 1:40 p.m. Flight I-390, first floor lounge. Now, see here. Ah! Sorry. I'm so sorry. How long do you intend to hold me here? It is impossible for me to be the criminal, I told you. Mr. LeBlanc. Oh, it's you. Tell this man to stop me from stopping me from going. Time is money. I don't have even 1 second of wasteful time to spend. Is there no talk thing here? Looks like I have to talk to the officer or something. Sir, you can't go in there. I'm Miles Edgeworth. I am one of the prosecutors on this case, so please let me through. I'm very sorry, sir. No one is allowed to enter without Miss Von Karma's express permission. But I'm on the case. Yes, I understand that, but I also have explicit instructions not to let you through, from Miss Von Karma. Why would you do this to me, Franziska? Did you finish taking his statement yet? Yep, all done, sir. I do not concern if you are not done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back. If you make a single scratch of my art, you will pay. Art? What sort of art? Master LeBlanc is an art dealer, so he's got a bunch of artwork down in the cargo hold, sir. There's practically a mountain of them, large and small. Folks from folk costumes to stone statues, I sell all kinds of art. Folk costumes, speaking of which, Mr. Blanc. It kind of looks like the other piece of cloth. Yeah, I gotta pull this up. That's right, because I gotta go. We are looking for the bloody... Mr. LeBlanc, can you please take a look at this for me? Oh, it's a Boyesian cloth. As I suspected, your hat is made of the same material, I suppose? Yes, of course. This fabric is so famous, orders come from all over the seas for more. Okay. Then, is this cargo you were talking about earlier? No. My cargo this time is many gigantic. You, detective, when can I have my cargo moved? You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal. The stubbornness of your police, it is no good. And it is no good that attendants refuse to exit the attendance room, too. That attendant. I wonder if he's talking about Mr. Nero. I guess not enough for him. I mean, what else would you have? Oh, okay. There we go. What do you mean? Hello? Why is it doing that? Ugh. What do you mean by attendant Miss LeBlanc? She was taken into the attendance room for her interview. And then they still have not come out. They make no sound of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much earlier, quicker than her. Why is Mr. Nero's interview the only one that is taking up so much time? Miles Edgeworth, you were given free rein for examining the plane, weren't you? Yes, I was able to attain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Mr. Nero. I wonder if you might grant my permission to enter the flight attendant's room. Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances. I understand. You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking, but you can't pull the wool over my eyes, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh boy, here we go. Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here in the very lounge the body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling for the attendants until his body was found. The only person in this lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This unmistakably makes you the likeliest suspect. The likeliest suspect, Miss Franziska? Do you have any problem with that? No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more absolute. I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Or am my kindness too hard for you to comprehend? Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. If I want to continue my investigation, I'll have to break her line of logic fast. I wish I could use the controller. Objection! It would seem that your logic is not as perfect as you think it is. And what is that supposed to mean? This piece of evidence should show exactly what I mean. Oh yes, it clearly shows what you're thinking. That you're attempting to buy yourself time. I knew I should have tried to pull a fast one. Did I miss something? I lost a little logic. Oh boy. Present. Oh, dummy. Present. I believe it is the suitcase, right? Yeah. Let's try that. Objection. Got a little too ahead of myself. it would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all. And what does that mean? I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves that the body was moved from a different location. The killer used this suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not this lounge at all. Now, who's the one who actually jumped to the conclusions? Excuse me? All you did was find this piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That doesn't prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose the suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth. I mean, that does kind of make sense there, if you want to think about it. I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem I can't escape that easily. You should know better than that. A Von Karma is perfect in every way. Ah, but you did not know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point. Yeah. As if that is proof of that. Footprints. Have to check. Yeah, I wish I could just like click the present on. Take that. Spilled grape juice in the front of the elevator. Yes, and I'd like to draw your attention to this area here. Where is the evidence that proves the killer dragged the body in the suitcase? Right here? Ah. The mark here, wouldn't you say it looks suspiciously like tracks for 2 wheels? I suppose. Further, there is also grape juice residue on the wheels of the suitcase. That means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here. I suppose this means that the killer didn't move the victim's body from somewhere else. I'm glad you come to your senses. Or has she? Not so fast. This still doesn't put you in the clear. Not by a long shot. Part 2. You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit the turbulence. And then you waited for the victim in the lounge where you beat him to death. Then while you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed him in the suitcase, the plane hit the patch of turbulence and out flew the body within the suitcase. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from, and pretended to be the one to discover the body. Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly. What are you insinuating? That I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose you for the flaws. And swoop in. I hit the wrong one. Why am I hitting check? Objection. The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared. Evidence and logic, essential tools for those who stand in the courtroom, must learn the master. But what if if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix? A fake? This Mr. Ifley piggy bank is just such a fake. It is not the real murder weapon. What? The timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important, and it was taken after the turbulence had occurred. But then, what about the blood on the bank? What do you make of it? I am assuming it was added after the murder was when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did 3 things after the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then the killer proceeded to pick up the bank from the floor and took it to fabricate a fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage, in my pocket to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder by Mr. Akabe Hicks. I'm sorry, the murder of Mr. Akabe Hicks. You there? Yes, ma'am. Other than the piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found? We didn't find anything in the lounge or in the shops that could be used at one, ma'am. Most of the items could have been used were broken during the turbulence, and the remaining items all tested negative for any traces of blood. I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears your style tactics are at an end. But it's possible that it was just hidden somewhere, sir. Eek. If the criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place, I think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody clothes. Cloth. Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside that suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence. Which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murder's personage, or it's still at the real crime scene. There is one more possibility. And what is that possibility? And what would that be? That the piggy bank is in fact the real murder weapon. But didn't we just hold it? Let me finish. The killer took the bank out from the display case before the turbulence by opening the lock on the display case door. And it was at the time that the glass pane in the door was broken. I'd say that perfectly resembles a line of reasoning, wouldn't you? Let's see. So that means that the killer had the key to the display case. Franziska, the person you're talking about. Not so fast. I'm not finished. That person you're talking about also committed another sin. She tricked the captain and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it is the sin of lying. Speaking of which, I recall that you also wish to speak with her. Yes. Very well, permission granted, but only if I can sit in on your interrogation. Do we understand each other? I have no intentions of interrogating her, but you are welcome to accompany me if you so wish. Miss Hanera is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move. Where is the flight attendant's room? Here? Oh. March 12th, 2:33 p.m. 23 p.m. Flight 390, first floor attendance room. Okay, let me see. Yeah, we're gonna finish this up and we'll find out what happens afterwards. Yeah. So, you're the one that poked around inside the plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that? Mr. Nero. Ah, Mr. Edgeworth, you're here too? Can you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did? Alright. I gotta talk to her this way, don't I? Yep. Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that? Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission. What do you mean? The captain, he only has ears for Cammy. I spoke with the captain a little earlier to myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken by Miss Melee. Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends. In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges. Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness. Mr. Nero, is it? Then, there is one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the flight shop just before the turbulence went, weren't you? Please answer honestly. Yes, I will. And why are you there? Well, Why the sudden hesitation? Franziska seems to have struck a nerve. All I did was go check up on the shop like I always do. You're saying it was supposed to work then? Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there otherwise. After you visited the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell. Mr. Nero claims to have no reason other than the duty to go to the shop. But is that all there is? Maybe I should ask her about, that thing. Okay, we gotta present her suitcase, clearly. I mean, she's the one who apparently came up with this design. If you could please take a look at this for me, Mr. Nero. Oh, that suitcase? Yes, about this suitcase. You're the one who designed it, correct? And I think I figured something else out about it. This suitcase is the reason you went into the shop, isn't it? There's nothing you won't find out eventually, is there? Won't you please tell me more about this suitcase? Yes, I was interested in seeing how the suitcase I had designed was selling. I know that as a service professional, I'm not supposed to care. But I really wanted to know. And I was glad to see that I was the last one there. The last one there? Alright, very interesting. So, you're saying, Mr. Nero, that the suitcase in question was the last one? Yes, they're just so popular they're practically flying off the shelves. That's not exactly the impression I got. The one in the shop is most definitely the last one. Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase. Really? Then I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one. I didn't say anything about buying it. Then you say you'll buy it? I'm sorry, I can't. But why? I think I'd be great with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. I guarantee you personally as a service professional. Well, that is, how should I put this? It's hideous. What? Maybe that was a bit too direct. Ya think? Moving on, my issues with the suitcase isn't the design, it's the number of them remaining. Remaining? There were 2 suitcases in the flight shop when I investigated it. 2? But that's impossible. I'm sure there was only 1. Looks like your story has generated quite the contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there was only 1 suitcase left. Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? By the way, Mr. Nero, what is one of those suitcases doing here? I thought you said there was only 1 left. That one is, it's mine. I've used it for a very long time now. She's used it for a long time. I think not. Mr. Nero, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't lie to me. Excuse me? I don't believe for even 1 second that you used this for a very long time. Yeah, it looks a little too neat. And it has a tag on it still, clearly. I mean, if you're going to buy a suitcase and use it for a very long time, you're not going to have the tag on it still. Tell me, Mr. Nero, is it also your habit to keep the price tag pristine on your suitcase? What is the meaning of this? Why would you lie about a suitcase? Despite having faith in her design sense, the sales numbers made her cry bitter tears. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Mr. Nero, I think I understand. I know what you are trying to hide. Now then, this suitcase was originally in the in-flight shop. Seeing as how the price tag is still on this suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor for sale in the shop. And the person who brought the suitcase was yourself. Boom. It was you, wasn't it, Mr. Nero? I hate to say it, but this suitcase that you designed is ugly. It hasn't sold very well, has it? She's not happy. She's not happy at all. Gotta break her heart, though. You saw how poorly this design that you poured your heart into was selling, and were deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like it was selling by buying it yourself. Isn't that right? Then, the reason you went to the shop and came back where it was? I'm sorry. All I really have is my job. I was overjoyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe I had finally accomplished something. But the suitcase didn't sell. It's because of the design, isn't it? All because it's, as you put it, hideous. I can't say they chose a great place in which to sell them either. We weren't selling a single one, and they were just sitting there collecting dust. I felt so bad seeing them there, day in and day out, so I decided to buy one for every flight I worked. You buy one for every single flight time you work a flight? I see. So in order to keep your resolution, you went and bought one today as well. Yes, and here's my receipt for that purchase. This receipt is clearly timestamped at 5:40 a.m. The truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold. They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight. Miss Tenero, where are the other suitcases? They should be all down in the cargo hold. Then the suitcases and the suitcase the killer used could very well have come from the cargo hold. Mr. Edgeworth, you don't think that the killer used one of my suitcases to... Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body. Ah, how could they? Those suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on their trips. That's all I ever wished for them to be. Miss Tenero, is there any other way to get to the cargo hold other than the elevator? The only other way is to just through that door over there. And what about security? That door has no special lock installed because, just to enter this room, you need a special key card that only crew members have access to. Which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room, eliminating the passengers and leaving only crew members as potential suspects. I can't believe it! Yes, Francisco? Going on, there's wild goose chases. You're a disgrace to the Von Karman name. And what do you mean by that? The suitcase came from the cargo hold. The fact alone tells the whole story. Yes, which is why I said the culprit must be a crew member who used their key card. Miles Edgeworth. You're proposing that the killer rode the elevator from the cargo hold, correct? Yes, that's the only realistic possibility. That the other attendant, Miss Millet, I asked her earlier and she had this to say. Miss Millet. In order to make the elevator go down the cargo hold, a different key card is required. A different one. Yes, and the only person who holds that particular key card is your Miss Rhoda Tenero, and only you. Ah! What? Is this true, Miss Tenero? Yes, I keep the key card in my locker at all times. Could you please show us the card right now? Yes, hold on. Not there. I don't believe it. What's wrong? The key card, it's gone. Ahahaha, very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen when in fact you're just trying to hide it from us. You really thought this through? Wait, it's not like that. You can tell us all about it when I have you down at the station. Arrest this woman. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Edgeworth? I have no idea who it is. What's wrong? There's a disbelief written all over your face. Francisca, I know that you are lead investigator on this case. However, hold it. Don't you ever think about wasting any more of my time. You know the rules as well as I do. Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't a courtroom, that basic tenet still applies. I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. What will you do, Miles Edgeworth? I intend to do likewise. And that is how we end this episode. I'd like to thank everyone who sat there and watched this. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.